Good morning, everybody. We're here today to show you if you do a startup and your AC system is not kicking on, our condenser is not kicking on. There's a few things that I want you or you could start to do before you have to make that call for help. First of all, let's go into our power, our disconnects box, and pull out our fuses and ohm out our fuses. Make sure they are good. Maybe you got a bad one out of the box. While I'm talking fuses, I want to zoom in on this and show you how the fuses should be in the pull-out, and also we're going to go into the inside of the disconnect. Now we're set up. I want you to note how I have these fuses in here. This side is properly installed. The label can see how many amp fuse this is. The other one is in backwards. Yes, the fuse is still going to work, but our local codes, our inspectors want to take this out, look at it, and see right there what amp fuse. They will not spin this around. We will fail for it. All right, so let's make sure that's in properly, and these prongs are tight, and these are nice and tight and not loose in there. Next, we're going to go see if we have power in our disconnect. Turn your meter on, get your meter out, turn it to volts, and go in and find which is the line voltage side. One side is going to be line, the other is load, which come into your condenser. Each manufacturer of disconnects have them in a different way. This one here, line, is on the outer side right here. So you would take and hook up the line here and hook up the line here and see if you have 208, 240 coming to your disconnect. If you don't, it's time to get back into the house and then check your circuit breakers and your wire coming from your breaker. All right. After that, if your fuses are good, your connections are all good inside here, it's something inside your condenser that's not turning it on. We're going to take a minute here, pause, and look at the inside of the unit. Okay, I've taken our control panel off ahead of time. One thing you do want to note is your maximum amp fuse size. Again, that has to be matched up with the fuses that we're just going in there. If your unit is 35 amps marked out here, you got to put a 35 amp fuse in, otherwise we will fail inspection as well. Now you want to go and make sure your line voltage is connected from your whip properly. You got it grounded properly here. Now, the other things is you want to check all your connections here. Look at your wiring diagram, guys. Last week we had a brand new system out of the box that the wires were crossed up here. Common wasn't going to the compressor, so the compressor was not starting. Fan would come on, but the compressor would not. Check your capacitor leads that they are all on. Nothing is burnt, and go through all this wiring in here. Just trace out the wiring diagram. The next is you want to see if your contactor is pulled in. If you have line voltage here and your contactor is not pulled in, this unit, plain and simple, is not going to run. This contactor is like a bridge that's bridging the gap that's going to feed line voltage from here over to the other side of the unit, if you want to dummy it down and look at it that way. That contactor gets pulled in by a 24 volt coil back here. We are feeding 24 volts in through our thermostat wire here, coming from inside the house. I would next check, get my meter out, and see if you have 24 volts here. Pull these two wire nuts off. If you have 24 volts here, you know your issue is on the inside of the house. If you have it out here, then it's out here. There could be safeties out here, low pressure switch, high pressure switch. Check those, reset them if need be. Other than that, if you do not have 24 volts out here, hey, you maybe didn't turn the thermostat on. You didn't put the emergency switch back on. Let's get back inside and we'll go over that in a little bit, and that'll be the end of the display for today. Inside, we know you've already determined that you have no 24 volts outside to pull that contactor coil in. All your line voltage is good, so let's start looking why you do not have 24 outside. I can see I have power here on my furnace because my indicator light is on, so that tells me my emergency switch on and my breaker is on. If you didn't have that, backtrack and find out why you don't have line voltage or 24. but I can see I have 24 volts. All right, so the next thing I would do is, before I even go to my thermostat, check and see if I have Y in common at my board. In a few minutes, we're going to zoom in on that. We're going to go to Y in common. Then I have two safety switches in this particular system. One up here is our secondary drain switch, and on our condensate pump, in case that fails, we like to kill the condensing unit to stop any excess water. In the state of New Jersey now, we are required to put a secondary drain switch on. All right, we're going to zoom in so you can see this board a little bit better. We're back at the board. Right away, we're going to go to common and Y to see if we're getting that call from the thermostat. If we don't have 24 volts across common and Y, get upstairs or wherever that thermostat is and make sure you have a call for cooling. All right, if you do have that, then it could be one of those two safety switches I was talking about. On this particular system, I broke common. Going to the condenser, I ran common up to my drain switch, through my condensate pump and back. So I would take these nuts off right here, all right, and just see if I had 24 volts from common to Y. If I have it, through one, I know I got it going up and I got it coming back. If not, then my problem is in one of these two switches. If I don't have it, if I have it there, then I know it's the 24 volts is not going outside anymore. All right. Now I would check my low voltage wire from here to the outdoor unit. If the outdoor unit still doesn't have it, then it's time to start ohming that wire out, the stat wire from here going outside, because I've already determined that I have 24 volts inside at my furnace. All right. Any other questions? You still can't get it from there, then it's time to call for a little bit of assistance at that point. Thank you.